Hi everybody, welcome to another Counselor University lecture series. Today we're going to be sharing another business idea on how you can start to make money. Because we are going to share 119 ways of making money in Nigeria, especially when you don't have little or no cash to start off with. Now we've talked about, in our other videos, talked about how you can make money from writing books, showed you some of our book that we wrote and we started from nothing. We also talked about how you can also make money from shooting videos and producing CDs, which also demonstrated to you. So today we're going to be talking about how you can make money from marketing products and how you can build a multi-million naira business from marketing products. Now, for this one, I also want to share my own personal example. You know, a few years ago when I built a multi-million naira business, which eventually crashed. We'll get to that later. How I started was, what I had was just a little amount of money. And I went to a company and asked them to give me some of their products. They gave it to me and I started to market the product. And from marketing their product, I was able to raise money with which I registered my own set of products. So, assuming you're a young man or a young woman, and you've not been able to find a very good job, or you want to start your own business and you don't know what to do. Well, I feel this concept is a simple idea that you can run with, which can also help you to build a very big business if you want to. Now, the idea I'm talking about is marketing products. Now, from research, there are two industries that have never suffered recession. Those are pharmaceuticals and cosmetics. So I want to focus on these two areas, but these principles I'll be sharing applies to any other area. So assuming you want to become a marketer, what do you need to do? First of all, you need to choose an industry you understand very well. Let's say for me, when I wanted to start, I looked at, because I trained as a pharmacist, I looked at the pharmaceutical industry. So I went to the pharmaceutical industry. Now, what I did is what you must do in any industry you want to operate in. So the first thing for building a marketing company is understanding the business. Take out time to study the business you want to go into. Now, after you've studied the business, what you now need to do is you need to select 3 kinds of products in that industry. So you need to select a first kind of product that has it's called fast line, fast moving products. Those are products that when you start to sell, you might sell them with little profit, but those are the ones that will give you turnover. Now, the next set of products you need to also have a set of products that people might know them, but they might not be so sure of the price. Now, these ones will give you some steady form of profit. The first set of products won't give you any form of profit. The second set of products will give you some level of profit, but not so much. Now, your income depends on the third category of product. These are categories of product that nobody knows about, and these manufacturers or importers are finding it difficult to sell. For instance, one of my clients recently brought in this product. It's called DX Smooth. Now, this is let's say you want to operate in the cosmetic industry. This is a product you put in the third category. Product that the importer is finding difficult to sell, but which you know that as a marketer you can move it readily. So the next thing, you must have these 3 categories of product. Now, you now need to initially let's say you want to start in the pharmaceutical industry. I would suggest you start off with about like 100,000. Go to a major importer in the major drug markets or to their companies. But before then, I'll suggest go and register a company. Even if not just a limited liability, you can register a business name. Because most of your customers you'll be dealing with, some of them might be issuing you with checks. And if they issue you check in your business name, you can't cash it unless you have a company. And also when you operate with a company, it gives you a sense of dependability with your clients. Now, the next thing also you need to do before you start to get the product is print a set of complimentary cards. And when you print the complimentary card, do not add MD or manager in your complimentary card. Put senior sales rep. The reason is very simple. When you come to somebody and the person knows that you are the MD of the company and they look at you, they say this is not a serious company. When they look at you too and they see that you are the manager, these people are not serious. Now, and secondly too, when they know that you are the owner of the company, it's easy for them to tell you, we want 1 month's credit or 1 to 2 months credit. But when you put their senior sales rep, they know that yes, this person has experience, but he's not the final authority. So that when they say give me credit, say no, my boss will not allow that. So the next thing you now need to do is go to the major markets, like for pharmaceuticals, you can go to, for now Nigeria operates with major open markets, like Idumota, Munshi, and Headbridge. Most of the major pharmaceutical companies have branches in this open market. So go there and source for them for your first lines. Then start to research and look for new product that nobody knows. When you find this product that nobody knows, negotiate with the importers or the manufacturer and tell them, say, I can help you market this thing and I'll deposit some money with you, and when I'm taking more, you'll be giving me more. You need to realize that these very slow lines are your major cash cows. Now, when you've now collected the product from the market, you now start to move into the market. Start to go to, let's say if you are doing cosmetics, start to go to supermarket. If you are doing pharmaceuticals, start to go to pharmacy shops and hospitals. And don't think that you can't do it because you're not a pharmacist. Almost all the pharmaceutical companies now employ non-pharmacists as their sales rep. And ask yourself, why would you work for somebody and they are paying you about 50,000 when you can actually make 50,000 net profit within 1 week or 2 weeks? So, you now start. As you are selling, you find out that the demand will be more for the first lines you have. So it means that your major effort, energy will be focused on the slow ones that most people don't know about. Because let's say for, what will I use as an example? Let's use something like a brand of omeprazole. The most popular one are Meprazil. Then there are other ones that are not so fast. Then there are the unknown ones, like maybe Orticat. Now, when you have Orticat, nobody knows about Orticat, but almost everybody knows about Meprazil. Now, because nobody knows about Orticat, almost nobody knows the price. So, if you come now, take it to a shop, and people there are used to buying Meprazil for about 700, and most likely you can get the Orticat for about 100 naira. It means that you can actually leverage it and sell the Orticat for 300 to 400 naira. But for the Meprazil, even if you buy it for 680, the best you can sell it will be 700. Now, why would you need to have a fast line like Meprazil when the slow one can give you maximum margin? Is because Orticat takes a lot of effort for you to move or sell. So it's the Meprazil. When somebody buys the fast line, like maybe the Meprazil, you say, okay, please also buy this one. For instance, a friend of mine has a brand of cream called Enview. Now, it's a new product in the market, so nobody knows it. So, assuming you decide now to market Enview, it means you need a very fast line of cream. Something like Dove. Now, when you come with Enview and Dove, people might not want to buy Enview. They say, no, I want Dove. Now, when they are buying Dove, say, okay, please also just add 1 packet of Enview. And you find out that when you now collect your money, they actually pay you for everything. But with time, Enview will now, because Dove is pulling it in, Enview will now start to sell very well too. And that way you find yourself making more money from the Enview. It applies to almost all lines. So I'll suggest for you, look at the industry you want to operate in. Most especially look at cosmetics. What I'll suggest cosmetics is that one is something people buy constantly on a daily basis. And it's something that most people, when you go to sell them, they pay you cash for the one as you are supplying it. And also suggest, look at perfumes. These are lines of cosmetics. Look at creams. Look at target product that women use the more. And now move from shop to shop. And see something that I also want to let you know. You need to understand that when you start to market this, that the your initial days will be very, very difficult for you. In fact, there will be days that you go out and you sell practically nothing. So for me then, what I used to do was, when I started initially was, instead of counting the number of people that bought, I told myself, I set a target of, instead of saying, okay, today I'll sell 20 packets. What I told myself that today I'll visit 20 shops and talk to 20 shop owners. You find out that if you set that target, as you are going, even when you walk into a shop and somebody doesn't buy, you just count them as one. You walk into another shop again, they don't buy, you count them as two. And when you are just number 2, you know that you still have 18 shops to go. That way you have something that is driving beyond sales, because if you're just looking at sales, when you just go first shop, second shop, third shop, 10th shop, and nobody's buying, you become demoralized. But if you are counting the number of shops you visit, you find that even if at the 10th shop nobody has bought, you say, yes, I still have 10 to go. So set a target of the number of shops you want to visit on a daily basis. The next thing too, you must plan your day. If you don't plan your day, you find yourself running around. And I also suggest, as much as possible, let your customer base be as far as possible to the places where you source your product from. Assuming you source your product from Orile, let your major customers be something like Badagry or maybe Ogun State or Ekiti State. The reason is that when a customer is closer to the market, one, they know almost all of them know the cost of the product, and they can easily go to the market to buy. But when they are let's say you come to Lagos to buy, and you are based in Ekiti State, when somebody thinks of what you take him to come to Lagos State to buy, he will rather buy from you. And I found out from experience that the farther a customer is from the major supplier, the more readily he will buy, and the less he will bargain with you in terms of price. So now, as much as possible, start to go to markets that are as far away from the market as possible. And I also suggest, start to look around the industry you are operating and start to look at other people who are working in that same industry and start to get close to them. You know, like in the pharmaceutical industry, if you want to do pharmaceutical, which is open to everybody, find a rep. When you go to the hospital, find a rep, start to chat to rep or become very friendly, get to make a lot of friends. Because the more friendly you are, the more people start to share with you the trade secrets of the industry. As much as possible, start to build your clientele base. And any customer you deal with, get the person's number. As much as possible to avoid credit sales. But there are some industries that operate based on credit. So when you are there, there's something now you need to watch out for, which are chronic debtors. Now there are signs that somebody is a chronic debtor. Number one, when you always visit him and you don't see any other reps there, beware. That's a sign that this person might be a chronic debtor. Now when you come to the shop and the shelves are scanty, that's another sign. But when you discuss with other reps and they complain about him, that's another sign. Now when he's a wonderful storyteller, when it comes to payment, that is a sign that this person is a chronic debtor. And when he gives you the checks that bounce, that is a sign. No, this see. And also when you come to somebody's shop and he starts to order for everything you have, even those that you know are very slow and you start to order for it, that is also another sign that this person is a chronic debtor. Beware of chronic debtors. Those are one of the things. Chronic debtors are one of the things that destroy people in the marketing line of business. So, and you know, the way Nigeria is structured, recovering debt is a big challenge. So you might find it difficult to recover your debt. So I'll suggest avoid chronic debtors. Now, the next thing also you now need to do is, as you start to sell, you find out that initially you start to see yourself making some money. I strongly suggest, know the amount of money you started with. And for any profit you make, every day you come back, take out the profit you made and put it somewhere else. What do I mean by this? So, as you are starting, you must have a bigger goal for yourself. So, let's say you start with cosmetic. Have a mindset of building a warehouse. So, any sales you make at the end of each day, take out a money aside and keep it for renting your warehouse. Because there are certain laws that operate in the life of almost all marketers. And these laws keep most marketers down. Now, the first law is what is called Parkinson's law. Parkinson's law says that as your income increases, your expenses will automatically rise to match that income. Meaning that, assuming you are living in a one room, face me, I face you, when you don't have any money coming in, that one room will be very comfortable for you. But as your income starts to grow, suddenly you find out that maybe, let's say you're a salary earner and you're earning 20,000 and a face me and face you was okay for you. When your salary is increased to 20,000, you find out that that one room face me and face will become so distasteful for you. I want to move to a one room self-contained. You now move to a one room self-contained. What happened to that salary increase? The increase in rent wipes it off. Now, if your salary is increased to 100,000 again, that one room self-contained becomes uncomfortable for you, and you now start to feel that what you deserve is flat screen with a room and parlor, and you move up again. What happens? It wipes off all the income, so that at any particular point you look at your account, you have no savings. The same thing happens is what destroys the career of a lot of marketers. You find that almost most people who start in marketing are in serious debt after like a year or 2 years, and Parkinson's law is a simple reason. So you need to understand that once you start, every day as you come out, calculate the profit you've made, take it and set it aside. And also establish the level of lifestyle you are living when you're starting. And never exceed that lifestyle for at least the next 2 years. I can guarantee you that once you start marketing and the money starts to come in, you start to feel that you deserve more than what you are currently enjoying. The next law I want you to be aware of is called Winston's law. Winston's law says when bad money comes into a system, good money goes into hiding. Now, one thing that destroys a lot of marketers is that, when they start initially, they start to hustle. But with time, you might start with about 20,000 and you keep buying something like, let's say you're buying this thing from the manufacturer and he's giving it to you. Now, with time, you find out that you bought 20,000 and you have money. So, when you check your account, you see about 80,000. Without you realizing that 80,000 does not belong to you. Maybe the profit you have there is, you bought for 20, you have made a profit of 10,000. Without you knowing that the 80,000 there is not yours. And before you know, you find yourself spending from that 80,000. Because you now have steady source of income that you are spending with, which is bad money because it does not belong to you. Now, the good money you would have made from hustling and working extra hard will go into hiding. And you will not just be taking other people's money and spending. And one day you wake up and find yourself owing about 2 million. I've seen this happen to a lot of sales reps, so you need to be aware of it. It means that you must keep accurate accounting if you want your marketing to work for you. Keep accurate record of your expenses and go through your expenses every week. This is something that is very, very easy to do. And see, it's not even something that, it mustn't be just cosmetic or it mustn't be just pharmaceuticals. I know a young man that I asked him, what he loved to do was to read books. I asked him, see, buy books, go to the publishers, take their books to the island, Victoria Island. And this guy found out that he'll get the book for about 200 from the publishers and he was selling it for about 1,000. This was some good margin for him. Now, also there is a client of mine, what he sells is, one of our students in Chancellor University. He imports a brand of toilet seats that you can flush with your leg, and he also is the top brand when it comes to shower heads and taps and faucets you use in your bathroom and your kitchen. A young man came to him and said, sir, I can market your product in Abuja. And he gave this young man, after discussing, the young man gave him some deposit and he now gave the young man some money. When he went, after a year, to investigate what the young man was doing, when they took stock and he removed what his what amount, let's say the young man was owing him 1 million. When they took stock, they found out the value of the goods in the young man's place was 1.5 million. This is what you can do when you decide to work very hard. It means that in just about a year plus, this young man was able to work hard to increase his own from marketing to make, at least if the person that gave him the product now say, okay, give me back my 1 million naira value of goods, and he gave, it means that he still have at least 500,000 naira worth of goods with him. You too can do this. Look at any industry, it doesn't matter. As long as you can get these 3 categories of products, you need to know that when you are working hard on this slow line that people don't know about, the more you work hard, you can make crazy profit on the slow lines. When I was in marketing products, there were products I was getting for about 500 naira and selling for about 2,500. That is how much you can make from marketing. And when you are aware of these things I've mentioned for you, all these laws are pointed out, Parkinson's law and Winston's law, then you also need to, you have to keep you in balance. There's also another law that I also want you to be aware of. and it's called Parkinson's law, Pascal's law. Pascal's law says that not Pascal's law, Murphy's law. Murphy's law said that if anything can go wrong, it probably might go wrong. I think a practical example was when the US went to capture Osama bin Laden. From the story I heard, they said that when they wanted to go, they were discussing it. The US Vice President asked the military commanders, what possibly can go wrong? They said, well, nothing can go wrong because we have the best team going after this man and we have the best aircraft system. They say, yeah, but what can go wrong? They say, well, after they say that nothing can go wrong, they say, well, what can go wrong is that one of the aircraft will crash. I say, okay, just in case, go with an extra helicopter. And they were telling that, no, nothing can go wrong, just say, go with extra one. And for those of you who knew the story of how they captured Osama bin Laden, when they got there, they did not know that there was a high tension line which hooked on the blade of one of the helicopters and it crashed. Imagine what would have happened if they had not gone with that extra helicopter. So what I'm saying is that if you understand Murphy's laws, you now look at whatever industry, whatever product you are marketing, ask yourself what can go wrong. Now I want to point out to you one thing that can go wrong. And it's also something that we can learn from the Bible, which says, you know, there's a lot of places in the Bible that say, and it came to pass. One law that must always ring your head is the law of it came to pass. It came to pass is that whatever you are enjoying now will pass. Meaning that product that you are marketing now, that is a slow line, maximum give it 2 years with your own effort and effort of other people, it will become a very well-known product. And the profit will disappear. Or in fact, the company can even stop importing. That is why you need to start to now build your product, your own market, your own company aggressively. I strongly suggest if you can set up a wholesale pharmacy, start to set it up. If you are in pharmaceutical, if you are in cosmetics, start to set up a supermarket or a wholesaler outlet. And if you are in building material, start to set up a showroom. As much as possible, whichever industry you are, know that whatever you are marketing has come to pass. So no matter the profit you are getting from it presently, always be looking out for newer line of products. Because whatever you're enjoying will come to pass. And one thing that will help you aggressively is networking. As much as possible in the industry that you're marketing with, find out who are the top people and start to associate with them. The MDs, the orgas in that industry, start to know them because these are people that open doors for you. And as much as possible too. The salespeople, people who deal directly with you, get to know them. Build your networking skill as much as possible. Get the birthdays of the people you deal with, get their special days and get in contact with them. Get to know them, get to know their family. It needs to get to a stage whereby you move from just a marketer to them to become a family to them. That is what can guarantee you constant sales and constant income supply. Now, there's somebody I'll strongly suggest you listen to his tape. It's called W. Clement Stone. Go to YouTube, search for W. Clement Stone, and listen to his marketing series, what it takes to build a marketing company. This man was somebody who is he died as a multi-millionaire. In fact, in the present day, if he was died now, he would have been a billionaire. So I suggest you go and read up and listen to it, get his books. His books are actually very rare, especially in Nigeria. So watch his videos on YouTube, W. Clement Stone. If you watch his video, you can learn the basics of how to build a marketing company. There's a video, I've forgotten the name, but it's about 2 hours. Listen to that 2 hours audio. It will change your business. As you are growing too, you must also have a definite 5-year plan of where you are going to in the next 5 years. That is why when we come in as from Chancellor University, part of the things we do is we help you to set goals. Chancellor University have realized that, he has said that, Nightingale said that if you ask anybody what is the secret to success, that anybody you ask, almost if you meet 1,000 people, that less than one person will know the secret to success. And he said that the secret to success is so simple that most people overlook it. And he said it's goals. That any man who decides on a daily basis to start to set his goals and stick to those goals, that nothing can stop that person from achieving those goals that he set for himself. So, but we realize that setting goals and working with them are very difficult. That is why the average human being, at the beginning of each year, sets New Year resolution. But before the middle of third week of January, they have given it up. So what we do at Chancellor University is, number one, we get world-class mentors. People like industry leaders, Pat Otomi, Kos Charis, bank MDs. They come and they share business concept with us. Now, what we now do, we now have in-house coaches. Coaches who will now follow you up on the concept that you have grasped from what they've shared, and you now have work with you to set goals. Then we'll now start to call you almost on a daily basis, on every other day, such that every day we'll call you and say, what are the goals you've set for today? It means that let's say you're a marketer now, and we say, okay, my goals is to visit 20 shops today. Once you wake up in the morning, our call will be the call that will wake you up. And say, okay, how many people are you visiting today? You say, okay, 20. By the middle of the day again, another person will call you and say, how many people have you visited? You know, when you know that somebody is calling you up, you find yourself that you are motivated to work harder. That is why professional athletes have coaches. It doesn't mean that these things that their coaches are doing for them, that they can't do it. But they know that with a coach's support, they tend to achieve more. That is why big companies have managers who oversee reps. What the managers do is now they keep on calling the reps. And when the rep know that I'm expecting a call from my manager to know the number of shops I visited, the number of sales I made, that rep will be forced to work harder. Now, because you are your own independent marketer and there's nobody on you, you find out with time you tend to just slack off. So that is one of the things we can do for you at Counselor University, follow you up. So if you're interested, you can send us an email, counseloruniversity@gmail.com, or call us up on 080-2362-2171, or even visit our website, Counselor University, www.counseloruniversity.org, or check us on Facebook at Counselor University. Facebook, just search Counselor University on Facebook. Our goal is to ensure that you succeed. But most importantly, our goal is to make sure that these ideas that are shared with you, that you take them up and run with them. Now, for most time when I do trainings, I always end my training with a parable that Jesus shared. You know, for those of you who are listening to me, no matter how much you've enjoyed the ideas I shared, so for those of you who have questions, you can also reach me on 080-2362-2171. Now, for those of you who have watched this video, if 10 people watch this video, only 2 will act on it or do anything with the ideas they've heard from this video. Why? It's because of something that Jesus shared in the parable of the sower. You know, in the parable of the sower, Jesus said that a sower went out to sow, and that as he was sowing, some seed fell on the pathway and they were trampled. It means that for some of you, as these ideas are coming into your head, as they're entering this year, you are enjoying it in your brain, but they are going it out from the next year. Meaning that as you are living here, you start watching this video, you forget almost everything you've watched. Now, the second set of seed, they say fell on shallow soil. It means that for some of you, just like the seed that fell on shallow soil and they sprang up after a year, when the sun came and shone on it and they withered, for some of you, enjoy what you heard today. And you write them out and you said, okay, you set goal that I want to work with this thing. But after a week or two, you find out that you've forgotten about them. Because when the sun starts to shine on you, everything starts coming and you forget them. That is where our set of teams of coaches will help you to make sure that you stick to your goals. The second team of people are those who, like the third seed that Jesus said that the seed, they fell among thorns. And as they were growing, that the thorns came onto and choked them. It means that there are some of you that, though you know that this thing will help you, this idea can transform your life. But the worries, issues of life, how will I start, where will I, different excuses will just choke up this idea in your head. But there are other classes, some of you, who after listening to this thing will take it and listen to it over and over again. We'll go through the materials we've mentioned in this video, go through all the other videos we have on this Counselor University website, watch all of them, watch all our seminars, listen to the references that we've made. Like for this one, we say, listen to W. Clement Stone, and you now go out and start to do something. And one of the things, one area I think I missed was that, see, whatever industry you decide to, whatever thing you start to sell, start to study that thing in depth. If you are selling pharmaceutical products, you don't need to be a pharmacist to master the pharmaceutical product. In the industry now, more than 80% of the reps, they are not pharmacists. But when they start to discuss drugs for you, you'll be wondering, this pharmacist is just like a young graduate. What they do is that they go online and they read a lot about their products. You do not need to master whatever you are selling. If you are selling a product like this, which is a hair remover, you must understand the principles of how it works, the components, how the component will make somebody look better, and how the components will remove your hair. And for those of you who want to market such a product, like, you can call me up and I can link you up with the importer. So, for those are some of you, when you start to work now, and you keep on listening to this, and you are adding the manual to it, putting different ideas to it, and as you're working with your goals, you're working with your coaches, and you're working with the mentor, before you know it, 1 year from now, you woke up and you look at your account, you're wondering, wow, when did my account get to this level? I can tell you that when I started my pharmaceutical importation business, I started with about 300,000. But before the crash, due to some business mistakes I made, after about 5 years, I had grown that company to about 7 million from 250,000. That is the same thing that you too can do for your business. Now, the good thing about it is that I'm sharing with you the mistakes I made so that you too can avoid them. Like, I wasn't aware of the Pascal's law, so because I wasn't aware of it, when I saw the money in my account, I felt it was my own, so I was just spending. I wasn't aware of Winston's law and Parkinson's law. So all these things are the things that once you are aware of will help to guide you in what you are doing. And also there's another law called Pareto's principle. It says that 20% of your product will give you 80% of your income. It means as you start to sell, you need to carefully study the product you are selling. Find out those ones that give you 80% of your income and channel 80% of your marketing energy on those ones. Because you are doing this thing for sales and income. And beware of credit sales. I mentioned credit and chronic debtors. Beware of credit sales. I hope that something I shared today have touched you. And I hope that you become a student of Counselor University so that we can work together with you to help you grow and build a massive company that we too can be proud of. Our goal is what God said in the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 29. And God looked at everything He had made and said, this is very good. We want you down the line, a year from now, 2 years from now, when we look at your business, when anybody looks at your business and say, this is very good. Thank you once again for listening to us, and God bless you.